Morning, Leslie. Here we are then.
How are you, Brian? Are you okay?
I'm all right, boy. I had a bad guts this week.
Oh dear. Okay.
The girl Rosemary, she got a load of meatballs.
Okay. Yep.
And so she done them in some sort of sauce, sloppy thing, you know,
Yes.
and brought them round. Mother don't touch them, thank God. But I had a few of them with a little bit of bread and butter.
Yep.
And I think they sort of upset my guts a bit. She ain't too sharp anyway.
Oh dear.
The girl Rosemary, she's full of it.
Really? So a lot of it about,
Yes,
isn't it?
yeah, blasted, because it's the time of year now for the sniffs and sneezes and bugs to sort of come around, so she ain't been walking the dog much. But the neighbour Marcus, he's either been sitting here having a yarn with Mother, or I take Biscuit up the lane, you know, or he have been, even his missus took him out at one point, you know, so I'm quite like, I've got nothing to moan about, you know.
Did you see all those dogs on the beach in Southwold last week, talking of dogs?
That was on the news.
Yeah.
That's right. Well, I sit here, and they seem to keep coming and coming, and there are hundreds of them, aren't there?
I think there was about 2,000 of them.
You know, I mean, they dress some of these dogs up, don't they? You know, do a dog want to be wearing a superhero costume or something, being dragged to the beach? But they look happy enough. The only thing I sort of sit here and scratch my skull, you know, and
Yes.
I thought, well, I don't know, who clear up the poo? Because, you know, if you've got all them dogs on the beach, they ain't going to wait till they get somewhere safe, are they? They're going to do the business, aren't they?
Well, they're very, very responsible dog owners that organised that, and everybody that went along, I'm sure, had their own poo bag. I've not heard of any problems, Brian, so you can rest easy on that one.
No, Mother did say, I reckon they've got a pup scoop or something, you know, so they sort of have, they'll probably take a bin behind them, don't they, you know, follow up the rear, and so they can put all the poo in a bin, I reckon.
Been watching much telly this week?
I ain't being funny, Leslie, but I keep flicking through at night.
Yes.
The one show is now getting boring, in it. You know, that's the same old thing. All they do is laugh. All they do is sit on that sofa and laugh. And then you sort of flick about there, and that's the old soap operas. They ain't what they used to be. They reckon that they're true to life. Well, I'm sorry, I don't think they are true to life. You know, and they had this thing on there the other. I have watched it once before, but that's where they what's her name, Mary Berry.
Oh yes, Mary Berry. Yeah.
Mary Berry and that bloke from Hollywood. He's on there, and
Great British Bake Off.
Huh?
Great British Bake Off. Paul Hollywood.
That's the one.
Yeah.
That's the one.
Yeah.
He fancy himself, doesn't he? And well, he do, doesn't he? He sit there smarmy thing. But you know, when I don't understand it, Leslie, because they put these people in this tent, don't they?
Yes.
And then they say to them, right, you've got 3 hours to make a pudding.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
Now, who the hell has got 3 hours to stand in the kitchen making something? I don't understand it. Why? And you see, they try and get fancy with all this stuff they're making, don't they?
Yes, they do.
And they end up either falling apart because they've got a soggy
Bottom,
as you say, you know, or they ain't set properly, or they're trying to make something in a short space of time. Why don't they just make things easier? Make like an apple crumble, or a rice pudding, or a flan or something? Because you know you can do that in no time, can't you?
Oh, it would be much easier, wouldn't it? It would be much easier.
Of course it would. And what about them other two on there? Right? There's that bloke with the bald head.
Yes.
And the other thing, they look like something like the Addams Family. They stand there. Well, they do, don't they? You know, and they keep walking about, sticking their fingers in everything, having a lick, and sort of saying, how you getting on? How you getting on? If I was on there and I was getting in a flap, I'd say, well, you can hold off because I've got to get this done before that all fall apart, you know. And then they stand in front of them, don't they? Oh, smarmy, what's his face?
Yes,
and
Mr.
Mary
Hollywood,
Berry,
yeah,
you know.
yeah.
And
Oh, no,
I
it's
like
Prue
her 'cause
Leith,
she,
you mean?
know.
No, Prue Leith. Prue Leith.
Huh?
It's Prue Leith, not Mary Berry.
Where's Mary Berry gone then?
She's on BBC
Is that
One.
her?
No, it's Prue Leith.
I thought she was Mary Berry then.
Prue Leith.
Isn't it Mary Berry?
No, it's not. No, it's Prue Leith.
Was she dead then?
No, she's on BBC One, very much alive.
Oh, she's jumped ship.
She jumped ship, yeah.
Oh, all right. Well,
Yeah.
I thought
Yeah.
that was Mary Berry. I
Yeah.
get confused, Leslie.
Yeah.
So, well, whoever that is, she seemed like a fair enough woman.
She's a good girl, yes.
The that's right. But, they do come out, and then they stand there and eat it in front of them. Hang on. Then they stand there, don't they, and they eat it in front of them and pull it apart, don't they?
Oh dear! Yes, it's a very good analysis of the show. Really, yeah. You're absolutely right. A rice pudding would be much easier.
I think the old telly's getting worse.
Well, there was some sad news this week about Angela Lansbury, wasn't there?
That's right. Blast, because she was in Bed Knobs and Broomsticks, wasn't she?
Yep, she was.
And am I right in thinking that? I'm trying to think what the other thing she was in.
Murder, She Wrote.
Murder, that's right. She used to solve the crimes, didn't she?
Jessica Fletcher.
That's right.
Yeah.
And, I always felt sorry for her because she never finished the book, did she? You see her at the beginning, she was typing away, but she was a writer, weren't she? But she also was a clever old so-and-so.
Yeah, she always got distracted by a murder, didn't she, rather than finishing the book?
Never finished the book, did she, boy? And I don't know how many years that was on for, but, that was sad to see her sort of die, I know they say, she was 96, she had a good innings and all that, but, it's still sad,
It is very sad. It is very sad, yeah. What do you think about these protesters in London who threw this soup over one of the paintings?
Well, they want drowning in the stuff, don't they? Because when you look at them, you think, now, what are you doing here? And did you see them? They just slopped the soup all over the picture by Van Gogh, and then
Van Gogh.
They put in the
Van Gogh.
Well,
Van Gogh.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
And so they had his photo up there, and they slopped the soup, didn't they? All down the picture, and then stood there smiling about it. Oh, what are they hoping to achieve, Leslie?
Well, they've got some publicity, haven't they? We won't talk about the issues surrounding it, but they've managed to get some publicity for their cause. So I guess they've achieved their aim, but they stuck themselves to the frame, which is I wouldn't recommend doing that. It's difficult to get the old super glue off, isn't it?
Tell me about it. I had a thing a few years ago where I was fixing a vase, right?
Yep.
And I got it on my fingers. That was on my thumb and the first finger. And bugger me, I got them fingers stuck together, Leslie. And in the end, I had to boil a kettle, right?
Yes.
And put it over the steam, and then I had to use a knife to carefully prise my fingers apart. But that left me with sort of funny fingers for a couple of days,
I bet it did. Before we go, Brian.
Yes?
I've got some dedications. Can we do these?
Yes,
Okay.
I don't mind, boy.
This is from Kim Downey. Hi, Mark and Brian. Please can I get a shout out for my niece, Molly Downey, from Isleham in Cambridgeshire, who was 10 years old on the 12th of October. She loves to listen to Brian with her dad, and she'll be really made up if she could have a birthday shout out. She loves any type of cake, so I'm hoping she might share a slice with me if Brian gives her a shout out. So happy 10th birthday to Molly Downey, Brian.
Of course I will, Leslie. Bless her little old heart. So she's 10 today.
On the 12th, which is the other day.
On the 12th,
yeah.
and that's Molly.
Yes, Molly
Happy
Downey.
Happy birthday, Molly, my darling.
Well done, Brian. And Andrew's been in touch. Please could Brian from Melton give a birthday mention on Saturday, the 15th of October, for Olive Mutimer. Her birthday was on the 14th of October. A big birthday this year, says Andrew. So it's Olive's birthday.
Olive's birthday, and, happy birthday to her. Do you know what? I used to know a little old party called Olive.
Oh, right, okay.
And she was lovely. She had lovely hair, and, she was a nice little old party.
You sadly lost touch. Oh, dear, never mind. Look, Brian, have a lovely weekend, won't you? Thank you very much for coming on, and all the very best. See you next week.